It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe, and tonight, Defunding the Police. A local politician here in Houston, former cop and longtime holder of various offices, Democratic Harris County Commissioner Adrian Garcia, keeps pounding me with YouTube campaign ads promising me that he will never vote to defund the police. And then he reminds us of his law enforcement career. I am so sick of this shit. Conservatives now use the phrase defund the police way more than the left does, and even presumed liberals who do use it usually do so to show how they're tough on crime. They talk about defunding the police as though the left is fucking stupid, all tripping at Burning Man or some other tired false smear characterization. The old utopia is for morons rhetorical gambit seems to work every time. And that's a total drag, because defunding the police is anything but stupid and stands to greatly reduce crime over the long haul. Defunding the police, in reality, is about redirecting some of the billions of dollars spent annually on law enforcement toward other agencies and approaches better suited to dealing with specific problems than the police are. Now, just think about it for a second, and a lot of it's obvious. A great deal of this is mental health. Did you know that there are now more people with severe mental health conditions in prison than are in psych hospitals? But there's also addiction and drug use. Ending America's domestic Afghanistan, better known as the war on drugs, would free up a lot of money, which could then be used to, really fight drugs sensibly and without violence or moralizing. There's also all that post 9/11 military hardware that cops all have now, and I've never heard tell of it being used on terrorists. What I've seen is cop tanks and cop paramilitary units busting heads at anti-police brutality rallies. The police don't need heavy military armament. All it does is make them more violent. Getting rid of that shit would free up a bunch of money too. But more generally, defunding the police is about using freed up budgets in order to directly change the social circumstances that make crime likely. Ideally, this makes the usage of old school violent policing far less necessary. Ideally, defunding the police reduces crime far more than the police ever could. But most of this country, it seems, doesn't seem to get that. Perhaps, in deep hindsight, it was a poorly chosen slogan. I mean, of course the fascists did this to the phrase. Confusing an issue is their go-to rhetorical strategy, but, I didn't see it coming. I loved it. Made complete sense. I guess I just expected the left to defend the idea better. On the other hand, in the face of the fascist onslaught joined opportunistically by conservative Democrats and so-called moderate culture influencers like Bill Maher, and fuck Bill Maher, just fuck him, you gotta wonder, was it even possible for the left to defend it better? This entire saga has left a very bad taste in my mouth. The Nazis took the slogan and turned it into fucking brass knuckles before our very eyes, and a lot of frightened, uninformed Americans have fallen for the shit. The conservatives certainly owned me on this. They owned a lot of us. Personally, I want revenge. I'm Ron Reader, and this has been Ron Reader Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reader, again next week for another episode of Ron Reader Digs the Universe.